Common question I get asked is if MTHFR variants can cause depression. And the answer is yes. If this gene is expressing, it can cause depression because MTHFR is responsible for creating our neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. So if we are not methylating, if that gene is not functioning properly, then it can lead to issues with neurotransmitter production. So what do we do about it? Well, to improve methylation, we need sufficient B vitamins. We have to have good gut health too, because you want to be able to break down your nutrients not only from food, but also from your supplements. And many times people will jump to methylfolate, methyl B12, because that's a more active form of B vitamins, which makes sense. But unfortunately, some people can be sensitive to methylated Bs. I had suffered from depression my whole life. And when I found out about MTHFR and I had a homozygous variant in the C677T MTHFR, I started taking methylated Bs because at the time, that's all I knew. I didn't have a comprehensive genetic test like the MaxGen test, which shows the entire methylation pathway, which is extremely important. Because if you have other variants, like in the COMT and the MAO, which also are responsible for creating neurotransmitters and how you process your neurotransmitters, then sometimes methylated Bs can overstimulate the pathway, especially with people that have slow MAO or slow COMT, because that can cause a buildup of these neurotransmitters. So the methylated Bs can actually overstimulate it and increase anxiety, agitation, sleep issues. So if you jump right to methylated Bs just because you have MTHFR, it potentially could make you feel worse. So what do? Well, get a comprehensive genetic test. But if you don't have that, then starting really low and slow with your methylated Bs is important. Don't jump to like mega doses. Number 2, you could also try folinic acid, which is another natural form that's gentler and goes through a different pathway and can increase folate levels that way. And then instead of methylcobalamin, form of B12, choose hydroxycobalamin, and many people feel better taking those instead. The other thing you want to do is you really want to avoid synthetic folic acid. That's the form that is in all fortified wheat, and some like less quality brand supplements will use folic acid. When you have variants in MTHFR, our body cannot convert synthetic folic acid into a usable form of methylfolate. And what it can do is build up in the blood, mask a B12 deficiency. It binds to folate so that it prevents absorption, and it can block folate receptors. Those receptors are what takes the folate from food or your supplements and gets it into the cell, from the bloodstream into the cell. So this is why you want to really avoid synthetic folic acid, because that can hinder your methylation. The other thing you want to make sure you're looking at is oxidative stress. So if you have a lot of toxic overload, gut issues, an unhealthy diet, you really want to address those first. And that's the other great thing about the MaxGen test, is that it's set up in order of significance. So it's going to walk you through the steps that you need to take to potentially improve your health. And the first section, which is the foundational section, addresses sleep, diet, gut health, and toxins. Because if we don't change those and clean that up, and we jump right to methylation, that also can backfire, because now you're pushing your body to detox and to methylate when it's very toxic, and it can make you feel worse. So you want to start with the foundation and then start adding in your B vitamins slowly and see how you feel.